Before that crime, in 2007, when Ben was 17 years old, he was arrested for doing, you know what? Bad shit to another girl. And who was there? Ben and her. And it says, what did this person do or say that made you afraid? Hit in the face, head, and legs. Pulled my hair.
People on the internet call me the Jew from the mountains because I live in the mountains and normally I stay away from the world. I'll take my glasses off so we could look at each other.
Exactly.
And
I want to penetrate
you can see how real it is. Let me tell you something. Today, I know so much about the world that if I shared more, I'm going to be actually dead.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and tell myself, you're the most amazing human on the planet. I am half man, half God. Yeah, this very famous thing that he would tell me as soon as I understood is that I wish I sprayed you on the wall. Like I wish I nutted you on the wall and wouldn't have had you.
Wow.
You know? I'd come back home from school and he would look at me and say, you know, you're a loser. You're a threat to them. I'm a threat to the system. Today I've conquered the youth. F students are the inventors.
Facts.
And I said that. And it got 7 billion views between people recreating that video and me.
Well guys, it looks like that we're already back here yet again with one of the most disturbing and pathetic wannabe alpha males in the alpha male universe. And with the man that just cannot stop getting bent over by literally fucking everybody, the one and only bend over Azoulay. And you see, it has only been 2 days since the last time we covered this downright clown. And in that amount of time, things have managed to just get so much worse for him, and he has managed to embarrass himself and get embarrassed multiple times. So with that being said, we're just gonna hop straight on into this shit and take a look at all of his new activities, which started off with him copying his idol Andrew Taint's little method of breaking out a whiteboard and pretending like he's teaching people anything, when in reality he's just a moron writing a bunch of shit down and saying it with confidence.
No Rolls Royce plus a six-pack means you're broke. But Rolls Royce plus no six-pack means you're broker. Now, most people are not going to understand that. So this is why I made sure to get both. A six-pack and a Rolls Royce. But if you don't have a six-pack, that means you're probably going to die quicker, which means you're most likely never going to get a Rolls Royce.
But unfortunately for Bendover, no amount of whiteboards and no amount of just writing dumb shit is able to save him from the one and only John Bravo, who decided that he was going to flame the living shit out of him again. And John ended up dropping this video here where he dug into Bendover's past once more and managed to find even more disturbing skeletons in Bendover's little closet, all because Bendover thought it was a good idea to allegedly try to get John's Instagram taken down and to basically fuck with him. So he was basically just asking for the shit and asking for another round of back shots as he got bent over once more.
So Benny, one day, while he was bending over, thought, he wants to get rid of some people online. So you know what he did? He went and started falsely copywriting Instagram posts of JD Delay, because he hates JD because he's got the biggest reach and JD says a lot of crazy shit about him, right? So Benny hates JD and he hates me. And he started reporting and taking down my posts too. And when he did that, I'm like, listen, like I said, do you really think you want me digging for your bullshit again? Because every time I've ever dug, I found crazy shit. And this time was no different. I found a lot of crazy shit. In 2007, remember the crime that he did on that girl? Well, he was convicted of, right? Doing bad shit. I'm not going to say exactly what he did. You guys all know it by now. Before that crime, in 2007, when Ben was 17 years old, he was arrested for doing, you know what? Bad shit to another girl. And you know what he's been trying to do all these months on social media, because he didn't want me to find it? Well, he's been going on all these internet sites, right, to try to hide his name so he can never come up in the searches. So this girl that he f***ed with when he was 17 years old, right, she was so scared of this asshole, she had to get a restraining order, not just for her, but her whole family and even her 3-year-old sister. That's what kind of a maniac this is. All right, so this is the restraining order that this girl, which was his girlfriend at the time when he was 17 years old, placed upon him for his crazy sick behavior. And take a look at the date here, September 17th, 2007, which was a whole year prior to the other case that was opened where he was convicted of doing those things to that other girl.
And we're just going to pause it here for a quick second, because not only is it wild that Bendover is actually trying to hide his name in the search engines and keep people from being able to find all of this fucked up shit that just keeps building in his past, but along with that, I also want to point out that in the height category there, it's got Bendover listed as 5'10", which is pretty funny considering that he is adamant that he was 6 foot and has been claiming it on every podcast appearance for like the past 6 podcasts he's been on. So the goober isn't even a solid 5'11" but 5'10", and has been running from it this entire time. But getting into it, John went deeper into this restraining order where it really just started to get quite disturbing.
And who was there? Ben and her. And it says, what did this person do or say that made you afraid? Hit in the face, head, and legs, pulled my hair, struck me repeatedly, yelled, name called, verbal abuse, verbal intimidation. He chased me in his vehicle and struck my vehicle repeatedly, tried to open the back passenger door, and followed me to the Lost Hills police station where he was arrested and detained.
So yeah, as you can tell, it is a very bad look for this downright dipshit. And it seems to be a trend to have alleged woman beaters in these little alpha male circles now that we have both Wes Watson and Ben having some shit like this coming up. But I want to note that not only did he allegedly hit her, name call her, and do all of these awful things, but apparently he was also stupid enough to follow her to the police station and get his dumbass arrested and detained. And along with this, in this document that John Bravo showed, not only did it state that Bendover also had guns and a baseball bat present in his vehicle, which is just unbelievably stupid that he drove to the police station with this shit, but on top of that, it is also reported that there was approximately 10 consecutive incidents of physical abuse, and that it was a chronic problem, and he apparently had even threatened to kill her ex-boyfriend. And it continued to get crazy, as it states that he threatened to take himself out of the game, along with more verbal abuse, slapping her twice in the face, grabbing her by the neck and hands, and threatening to hurt her. And he was apparently extremely angry and enraged, and proceeded to hit things around the room. So of course, the judge ended up ruling that he needed to have a restraining order placed for the maximum of 5 years. And of course, it is just another terrible, disgusting look for this dancing clown that keeps making himself look like a fool. And with that being said, it was just another great job by John to bring this shit forward, and make sure you check out his video listed below. But on top of all of this already, it looks like that on the same exact day as John releasing his video, Bendover thought it was a good idea to release another one of his downright awful podcasts that was just ridiculous and was filled with a ton of stupid ass moments. So along with him getting exposed, we're gonna bend him over as well, inflame his goofy ass, and take a look at this disaster of a podcast that started off with him trying to glaze himself about all of the women who DM him, and with his test that he apparently ran when he took his trip to Vegas.
Don't know.
So I just ran a test. Me and my team, we took a private jet to Vegas.
Okay.
Did a whole nice photo shoot. Posted it. Wanted to see the reaction. Guys hate. Okay, I get that. But the amount of DMs from women, it went fucking crazy. Crazy.
Can we do an experiment like that in Miami together?
Crazy. So Saturday, I'm taking a yacht out to see the next thing happening.
Okay.
I already know what my DMs are going to look like.
And nobody should be buying this clown's dumb shit, and anybody with somewhat of a brain knows that he's just making crap up, considering that during that trip, it was just him hanging out with a bunch of younger guys who looked to be between 18 and 20 years old, and he was clearly just trying to look cool. But of course, the host of this podcast is a bend-over glazer like no other, and immediately was trying to get himself on one of those trips with him, as you heard him say that they should do one of those experiments together. And and followed it up by just doing some next level glazing and continuing to try to hint at the fact that Bendover should take him with him.
By the way, that yacht idea sounds pretty lit for Saturday. I want to be able to look you in the eyes and like fully see you and know that it's real, right? Beyond the surface level bullshit, beyond the physical world, beyond the 3D.
I'll take my glasses off so we could look at each other.
Exactly.
And
I want to
you can
penetrate
see
your
how
soul.
real it is.
And yeah, it's going beyond a bromance, and I'm pretty sure that after this, they had to have fucked, because this is just some crazy work, taking your glasses off to look him in the eyes, as he's just glazing you, talking about your yacht idea, and wanting to know you better. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bendover was bent over that table right there after this, but the host of this podcast is just a goober in general. And not only was he doing, a good amount of glazing, but he also had just random little moments like this one right here, where I don't even know why the fuck he said this, or where it even came from.
We might have to edit this out, but I remember very vividly, I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. My first erection ever was to Cameron Diaz in The Mask. Cameron Diaz, if you're watching this, shout out to you.
But yeah, I don't know why that was necessary. I don't know what inspired him to just drop the lore about himself about his first erection. But I can tell you one thing, his most recent erection was sitting there across from Ben and just getting the opportunity to sit there and look at each other in the eyes. And now that we've established just how much of a clown the podcast host himself is, it's time we get to Ben's shenanigans, which were just all over the damn place, in which proceeded to get into this segment right here after talking about his little experiment where he needed to discuss how he is half man and half God and how he views himself as one of the greatest men to ever walk the earth.
I wake up in the morning and tell myself, you're the most amazing human on the planet. I am half man, half God. That's what I call myself. People on the internet call me the Jew from the mountains because I live in the mountains. And normally I stay away from the world. They see me here in Miami. They're like, this doesn't make any sense.
Hey.
This is the Jew from the mountains. This guy's fucking working on his splits, fucking kicking trees, wrestling with bears. What is he doing here in Miami? Doesn't even make sense to them.
Yeah.
But I understand that I have to come here after I already made sure that my brain is good. I can't be brainwashed. I can't be bought. I can't be purchased. I can't. I'm going to do this and I'm going to die doing it. And I'm going to do it for everyone at home. I'm doing it for them. But the problem is that they don't want to be unplugged.
Yeah.
They fight for their shit.
And I've got to say, I don't even know what the actual fuck this guy's talking about right now. I don't know who called him the Jew from the mountains or where that came from, but I have never once in my life heard anyone refer to him as that. I've heard them refer to him as a PDF file and a grapist, but Jew from the mountains is just some next level delusion as he's calling himself half man, half God. And his shit just continued to get even more ridiculous as he then went on to talk about how he used to climb trees as a kid and do all types of crazy shit because he had ADHD, and he also took it as an opportunity to continue his new romantical pursuit of this podcast host by then attempting to glaze the living shit out of him as well, because apparently he also has ADHD.
To a place I like to call the quantum realm. There I understood why I had ADD. They were telling my mother he's got ADD, he needs Ritalin, he needs to sit down, he doesn't want to listen in class. I'd always used to go climb the highest trees, the tallest trees. It felt like my soul wanted to fly. And at a later age, which happened about 2 years ago, when I meditated, I understood something. My whole life, I was trying to be big, big, big. Let's just get bigger and bigger. And when I became about 240 pounds, that was my biggest. It was massive. But then all of a sudden, I was happy. And there's a reason for it. When your soul comes to this world, some people have a higher soul than their body. You're one of them. Your soul in that little body of an 8-year-old felt very claustrophobic. You have this big soul, in this little tiny body. Your soul wanted to fly. It didn't feel comfortable in that little body. So you were jumping around. You couldn't pay attention. You weren't from here, but you were put here. And now they want to sit you down and tell you that you must do these things. But the truth is that your soul is just a higher soul. And you've grown now into this big 6'2" of a man, right?
Yeah. You're giving me a couple inches, which I appreciate.
Whatever. And now you're like this big guy with a big soul.
Yeah.
And it feels less claustrophobic. And today you don't have ADD.
Yeah.
Today you're Jeremy Awakens, the man who awakens the rest of the people with his big soul. So when a mother has a child that has ADD and is doing karate off the walls, that's their golden child.
That's it, bro. That's what I'm
That's
talking
what
about.
you are.
That's what I'm talking about.
And man, if you don't shut your goofy ass up talking about that's what I'm talking about, as he's just making up some pure and utter bullshit, just getting on his knees, giving you that sloppy toppy as y'all are forming even more of a bond. And it's all just him making up shit as he pretends to reminisce about climbing up buildings and trees and doing all types of shit as a child. And this still isn't the dumbest shit that came out of this podcast, because it only continued to get even more ridiculous. Because after this, Ben just starts basically trauma dumping about being single now and getting divorced, and about why he ended up getting divorced with his wife. And it all seems to be different than the last time he talked about it, when he was stating that he needed to get divorced so that he could pursue his career as being a lolcow online. But now all of a sudden, it's a different reason.
I'm single now. I was married. I got a divorce a few months ago. The biggest reason for the divorce was that my wife had a hard time trusting a man to the point where she could have as many children as I want to have and things like that. She also said that she didn't really want to have many children, and I love her to death. I'll still love her until today. I'll love her for many more years to come. She's the most amazing person I've ever met. Really. I really wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. But I realized how women are so brainwashed already that it's sad. It's sad because I could tell you it broke me. It hurt me a lot, seeing how they are. You want to have a bunch of children, so by the time that the last one is leaving, there's grandkids coming in. We're going to get older. We're not going to stick around. You want people to come visit you. Who cares about this girl who has 1 or 2 children? She's never going to see them. Most kids just leave the house, go on with their life, and never come back to see the parents.
Yeah.
So if I want to have a family, I want to have a huge family. I want to have 10 children. I want to make sure I have 50 grandchildren. Why not?
By the way,
I want a big family. I want a tribe. And women love that, to be honest with you. There's a lot of women that reach out to me and say, you're such a masculine man.
Yeah.
I want to marry a guy like you.
Yeah.
But most of them are in their 30s.
Well, isn't this...
And personally, I'm not going to take a 30-year-old.
Isn't
Or a
this...
35.
And we're just gonna stop his goofy ass right there, because now instead of it being about how he needs to pursue his mission and needs to be a lolcow online and he just couldn't give her enough attention, instead it is now her fault because apparently she couldn't trust a man, and the reason that she couldn't trust a man is because she didn't want to produce a tribe of kids. So I don't know how many kids this goober was asking for, but I've heard him say 10 to 12. So essentially he got a divorce because he couldn't use her as just a breeding factory, and she didn't want to have an army of little bendovers running around. So he kicked her to the curb and needed to restart. So all that other shit was bullshit, and that's the true reason. And it only got worse as he continues to talk about it and continues to talk about how he's gonna marry the youngest girl he possibly can, and if 18's the legal limit, then that's what he's going to.
Straight up. 10 kids minimum. All natural births.
Yes. 10 children. She's like, okay, me too. And that's where I go, I'd like to have a younger woman, because some people are like, why don't you have a 35-year-old like you? I'm like, at 30, a woman loses 90% of her eggs. At 35, she doesn't have any eggs. Maybe one here, one there, but It's done. I want to have 10 children. I want to have a tribe. I want a woman that will be as young as she could be. They're like, how old? I'm like, hey, if it's legal 18, then it's 18. Am I turned on by an 18-year-old? No. I'm turned on by a 30-year-old. Like, if you really ask me sexually, you see a 30-year-old, it's a woman. A woman turns you on. And my whole life, I dated women that were older than me. Ever since I was a young boy. Ever since 14, they were all older than me.
You were a MILF hunter, weren't you?
I was. They were all older than me. It's almost like I needed a mom, but I had a mom at home.
And you gotta love how his dumbass realizes how bad that sounded with the past he had going, so he immediately tries to correct it and starts yapping about how I've always dated women older than me, and I'm really attracted to a 30-year-old. I'm not attracted to the 18-year-old. You know, when I was 18, I was attracted to that 15-year-old, but that was a one-time thing. Really, it's the 30-year-old. And nobody's buying the shit, and even though he got better at catching it for once, it still just came off horrible. And I think that's a perfect place to end it. And there is a lot more of this podcast that we'll talk about in the future. But for now, I think that's a good enough gadooshing for today. So if you enjoyed, please drop a sub and a like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are flaming all of these downright morons. And I'm out, watching Bendover continue to get bent over, and peace.
What they say, the tall guys have small penises. The short guys have long penises. What do you prefer, height on the bottom or at the top? You prefer bottom? Not me, but the girls do. Hey, by the way, people say I'm 5'4". Tell them I'm over 5 foot. Tell them that I'm 5'5". You wear the insoles though? Yeah. I came with high heels today, so that's why I'm your height.